Hello, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Dungeon Masters Guild Design Dash. I see folks in chat filing in. Let us know if this is your first time. If it is, get ready. I hope that you're sitting down. This is going to be a wonderful madcap time. Design Dash is a bit like Iron Chef or Project Runway, but for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition design with some best-selling writers from Dungeon Masters Guild. I am one of your hosts, Lysa Penrose. I am the brand manager for Dungeon Masters Guild, and I'm joined by my lovely host over here, Jack.
Hello, I'm Jack. I am the creator relations rep for One Bookshelf, which is included in DM's Guild.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Jack. And we have our lovely contestants / sorry souls down here below us, including our returning champion, Kai. Kai, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Kai Linder, writer, editor, returning champ. Looking forward to dashing with these awesome people.
Yeah, welcome back / sorry. Lydia.
Hi, I'm Lydia Van Hoy. This is my first time on Design Dash, and I am super excited.
Awesome. And Zeke.
Hi, I'm Zeke Gonzalez. I'm a graduate student and creator for the Dungeon Masters Guild. I'm best known for science-inspired monsters and powerful liches.
Oh, yes. I love your greenhouse adventure and all just the monsters that you put in there. Very cool. But let's get to know our contestants a little bit better. Kai, as returning champion, do you have any advice for Lydia and Zeke?
You'll have an impulse to try and figure out what you're going to do for this. Just type and let it flow. Stopping to try and plan will paralyze you.
Great advice. Lydia, what of your design style do you think is going to come out in your design today?
The fact that it's all just like word vomit until I pay someone else to go through it. The fact that it's all just absolute word vomit.
You know what? Design Dash, we've seen a lot of vomit of the word variety. Most of it's pretty awesome, so I'm excited. And Zeke, when you got the Twitter DM of, hey, do you want to be on Design Dash? What did you go and do to prepare for your time in the arena?
I like to get inspiration from my dreams, so I reread my dream journal from the last 6 months, and I looked through animals and plants that I really like, just to give me some inspiration powers from nature.
Oh, that is like the sweetest, gentlest way to prepare for Design Dash. So thank you for that, that joy. All right. So if you've watched Design Dash before, you know that these three are going to be creating a design around a secret theme. But before we reveal that prompt, I want to let you folks in chat know that you play a very important role in Design Dash, helping us put together the rubric. We will be, in the 15 minutes where folks are designing, we will be taking a look at chat, seeing what scale, 1 to 5 what, that we would like to grade folks on the rubric, and 3 categories related to the prompt that we are going to be grading them on. So get ready to be as creative as our designers are going to be. Now, are you ready for this prompt? Everybody at home watching, do your own personal drum rolls as we reveal the theme, Unconventional Healers. Unconventional Healers. Now this is because DM's Guild has a really cool healers kit bundle going on right now, but there is a twist to this theme. You can create an encounter. Yes, we create lots of encounters, but you also have another option. You could create a class or subclass of an unconventional healer if you so choose. In 15 minutes, quite a lofty goal, but you will get bonus points. Bonus points. Redeemable nowhere. But quite cool. All right, so it is 11:05. I'm going to give you all till 21 past the hour to account for those extra few seconds. Get ready, go forth, and dash. Da da da. Dashing away. So, Jack, as folks are dashing, let's chat a little bit about Dungeon Masters Guild stuff and things. You are reviewing new titles all the time, helping us put together sales. What's going on at Dungeon Masters Guild?
There has been a lot of stuff released in the first, oh gosh, I guess we're coming to the end of February because it's so short, which is crazy to think about. So in the first 2 months of 2021, there have been a bunch of really cool things. There was a squirrel folk race that kind of took DM's Guild by storm. I think it went up to like number 3 on the hottest list.
For being a squirrel?
Yeah. It's really cool. Let me see if I gotta find my doc that I moved it around.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to be a squirrel, are they tiny like squirrels are tiny?
Yeah, they're not they're like a foot tall. So like
that's adorable. I just want to be the cutest adventurer that I can be. But combine it with something like barbarian.
Yeah, I think it has a few subclasses as well as just the race.
Oh, cool. So squirrel specific subclasses. Now, do you have to be a squirrel folk to be one of these subclasses, or is that just like bonus material, but they're suited for squirrels?
But it's suited for squirrels. Yeah, they have a rogue archetype of barbarian path.
Nice.
And they're really cool. It's part of like a group where they did otters, badgers, and boar races.
Oh, I love that because, everyone is very excited about Netflix creating reimagining Redwall.
Yeah,
so
really
I
cool.
feel like they're ready to go with badgers, very Redwall. What is that title called?
That's where I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's spelled Kercpa. So I don't know if it's Kirkpa or
Kurspa. Chat, how would you pronounce that? Help us, please. Save us. You are our only hope.
But then it's squirrel folk lineage and subclasses.
Okay, that's really cool. I believe I was on our site this morning, and it's still pretty high up in that top sellers banner. So if you go to the front page, you should be able to see it right away if you want to get your squirrel on.
It's very cool cover of a squirrel like reaching to the heavens.
I love when folks have cover art that is really evocative of what the material inside is going to be. Arsenic Typhoon wants to know, how do you spell it again?
I'll put it in chat.
Thank you.
Kercpa. Actually, I'll also see if I can link it. I don't know if I can still do that anymore. Let's see.
We're going to attempt a link, everybody.
You can see this. If not, I'll tweet out the links to the things afterwards.
Sounds good.
My Twitter is the same.
Oh, it worked. I see it.
Cool. Yeah, I couldn't remember if they allowed VIPs to link or not. I guess they do. Thank you, D&D. Also, friend of DM's Guild, Design Dash, Cage, has released the Storyteller Otherworldly Patron, which is
a warlock thing.
Yeah, it's a warlock patron for the proceeds. Some of the proceeds going to scholarships for the Storytelling Collective's RPG Writer Workshop. And it actually spotlights Ashley Warren, who's the director, myself, and our other employee HR, and that's cool. Really fun. I have to put it out there because I'm in it. It's really interesting, and yeah, like it helps to get scholarships to new people who want to design stuff for DM's Guild.
Sweet.
One of my favorite things was the gelatin or the Cubanomicon.
Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorites too.
It's just a bunch of gelatinous cubes. It's 32. And I love gelatinous cubes, and
they're
32
so classic
different
and weird
kinds are really fun, and they all look really cool. Like the art in it is just really interesting, and it has a great cover of an adventurer about to be devoured by a cube.
So you get a lot of titles where it's like, here are different interesting types of kobolds or goblins or orcs, but a title totally dedicated to different flavors of jelly cubes is so whimsical, sort of, and fun.
It's not a monster that seems to be used as like that much, because it's just so, it's kind of simple. It sneaks up on you, and if you don't get out of the way, you're dissolved in goo.
Yeah. Do you have the Cubenomicon in front of you right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is an example of one of the cubes and what makes that one special?
Oh, I don't have it open.
Oh.
I have the listing. I have the listing.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to spring that on you.
It's okay. With my DM's Guild powers, I can quickly
As
download
Jack is getting us the inside scoop into gelatinous cubes, folks in chat, what scale do you think we should grade folks on the rubric? 1 to 5 blank, related to unconventional healers. And then also, what categories do you think folks should be graded on? Keeping in mind that some of them will be designing encounters, potentially. Some of them will be designing subclasses, potentially. I'm thinking like 1 to 5 healing potions, although that isn't quite unconventional. Oh, Steven says, oh, hi, another alum of the Dash Arena, who has either just released or will be releasing the edited, expanded version of the encounter/adventure that he wrote. I'm really excited about that. It looks so good.
That'll be fun.
1 to 5 band-aids, like that. 1 to 5 coolest ways of healing. Oh, I like that as just, hold on, I'm going to grab a pen. I like that as just like a category. Coolest way of healing. Coolest way. Because I think that could apply to whatever they decide to do.
Yeah,
with
that could
challenge.
be an encounter or a subclass specific.
Oh, Steven says what I was talking, his Design Dash adventure is going to release on Monday, so keep an eye out for that. I'll make sure it's in the newsletter too, since I love when folks go from Dash to final product. That's really cool. 1 to 5 genetically modified goodberries. That might be it. That's my favorite. Okay, genetically modified goodberries. Okay, that's going to be our scale. So, folks, what should the categories be? We have 1, which is coolest ways of healing. And as folks are brainstorming that for us, Jack, tell us about a really cool gelatinous cube.
Okay, so I found one that makes, instead of one giant cube, it's called the Gelatinous Cubepocalypse Swarm. And it's just a bunch of tiny gelatinous cubes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we just talked about how I'm a sucker for cute stuff, like with the squirrel folk.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I think they kind of have something like this in like Minecraft, where it's like a big cube jelly, and then you cut it, it becomes 2.
Oh.
But this is like a swarm of them.
Oh, do they also split up?
No, I think it's just a bunch of tiny ones.
Okay, that's cool though. Although also kind of terrifying if there was just a swarm of little like Jello squares coming for you,
bouncing, rolling. I don't know how they would move. It's always fascinates me how gelatinous cubes move. Like, are they sliding? Is the jelly moving? I don't know.
Inchworming.
Yeah.
Well, I love that title. Very cool. Ooh, Steven has a good suggestion for a category, most unexpected healer. So we've got coolest way of healing. So it's kind of like different healer. So coolest healer, most unexpected healer. I kind of like that theme for the categories. Again, because they apply to either type of design. Most unexpected healer. Ooh, Majestic Goose Network in chat says, hey, there's Zeke. We just ran one of his adventures on our podcast recently. Very cool.
Cool.
Most specific healer, says Majestic Goose Network.
feet.
I like that. We'll put that.
It's like when you're like, quick, you're a doctor, and like, I have a doctorate.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
So that could be our 3 categories: coolest healer, most unexpected healer, most specific healer. But if folks have more ideas, please throw them out, because we can always shake up this rubric. What else is going on over at Dungeon Masters Guild?
This one you might be really interested in. It's Madame Ava's Taroka deck of Friends and Foes and Fortune. Friends, Foes, and Fortune.
Ooh.
So it takes the Taroka deck from Curse of Strahd and uses it to kind of procedurally generate encounters.
Oh, that's cool.
So it has like encounters for each card in the deck. So, and you could also use a deck of cards, just like with Curse of Strahd. And then when you just kind of pull each card, and it randomly will pull up what the encounter is or the next step in the encounter.
That is, I mean, Jack knows that Ravenloft is near and dear to my heart. So any titles that use that are Ravenloft titles, but also that use like the Taroka deck in really cool, interesting ways.
Yeah, I feel like the Taroka
adore.
deck gets lost in kind of the whole. You use it at the beginning,
right? And then it doesn't come up again.
It doesn't really come up, but people, have it, and it came. Does it come in the coffin box that they released?
I think it does.
I mean, it would. If not, it's very cheap online.
Yeah. I still need to get my hands on that Curse of Strahd revamped slash WotC. I see what you did there. Box.
I have it on good authority that is complete coincidence, and they did not realize it until afterwards.
No.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, "Oh, revamped."
Oh, Thirsty Bursty. Thanks for the mercy shout out in chat. Someone in chat, Thirsty Bursty in chat says most illogical healer. That's pretty interesting. I might just write down all of these that folks are throwing out there, so we can just like award a superlative maybe to each encounter. That would be really fun. All right, I'm taking a little peek at just the beginning of what folks have designed, because I don't want to spoil too much before they present them. Kai, it looks like, I am not surprised, really thought he would like this twist and dash, has gone with the subclass. Kai is known for making musical subclasses on Dungeon Masters Guild, so I am curious whether music will have anything to do with their unconventional healer. Yeah. It is a rose subclass. Recently. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was on the starting card. It will be on the end card. But I'm totally blanking right now.
I'm like scrolling through DMs.
Peeking over at Lydia. Ooh, Lydia has also gone for an unconventional healer. And it looks like, I don't want to speak for them, but it is seeming like both of them have gone in the direction of which class would you least associate with healing. Kai went with Rogue. They are often very much damage dealers. They've got that powerful spike damage. And Lydia has gone with Barbarian, usually the most brutish of the group, the tank. But they've got Path of the Healer here. So I'm really excited to see what features they have come up with.
Instead of damage when they hit you with their club, they heal you.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Thwack.
That, I think, would win most illogical healer, right?
Yeah, right.
And then let's go over to, okay. So Zach has decided to go the encounter writing route. So I'm glad we got at least one encounter. I'm seeing up at the top here, I don't want to adjust the font size while he is working. I will do it when we are presenting. So folks in watching live and in the VOD can read on the screen. But it looks like there is a Tabaxi cleric. Comfortable rumble, gentle rasp. Rasp is underlined, so I imagine that's their nickname. And they have some unconventional ways of healing. So that will be exciting to get to know Rasp a little better. I love me a quirky NPC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that is what's going on. We have 1 minute left. It is 11:20. They've got till 11:21. So they should be wrapping up right now. I can see you can see that Zeke has gone back and is doing a little bit of formatting, adding headers. Hopefully that means he's ending his encounter in a place where he's pretty happy with it. And Lydia and Kai both look very, very focused. So not sure what that means for where they are with their subclass. We've done subclasses one time before on the Dash, but I believe I gave them 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes, so they'd have some extra time. So interesting to see what 15 minutes will produce.
Kai's latest is Circle of Rhythm.
Ooh, Circle of Rhythm,
druid.
nice.
And I just realized Kai also worked on that Taroka.
Oh, awesome. All right, I am calling time for folks in the Zoom chat.
Wee woo, wee woo.
Wee woo. Okay, Lydia's got hands up. It looks like everyone's got hands up. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the judging table. Was that what you expected? How was that for you?
Feral mania.
Everyone looked very focused while designing. I'm really excited to see that a couple of you did bite on that subclass suggestion, but also glad that we got a mix. So Zeke, I'm really glad that you did do an encounter, it looks like. But let's jump right into some presentation. Oh, wait, let me tell you about our rubric. So we are grading you on a scale of 1 to 5 genetically modified good berries. Thank you, chat, for that blessing. And the categories in which we are grading are coolest healer, most unexpected healer, most specific healer, and potentially there is a secret bonus category that you might unlock if you go that way. An Easter egg, shall we say. But let's now jump into some presentation. Kai, tell us about your unconventional healer.
All right. So I have gone for a rogue subclass I've titled the Bruiser, which are unconventional healers that no one... Of course, you hear the name Bruiser, you don't think healer. You think, I'm gonna get out of here before they bruise me. And that is exactly what they do. They use punches and bludgeoning weapons to apply bruises that kind of work almost like ki or chi blocking to kind of stimulate vital energies, kind of inspired sort of by acupressure, acupuncture type things. Mm-hmm. So I've tossed in first ability, Browbeater. I love attempting to do strength rogues, so I've made this a rogue that can use bludgeoning weapons that they don't necessarily have to have finesse. So you can have your nice beefy rogue bruising people to heal them. Also got to give them expertise in medicine, of course. So we just enable the whole class there. The primary feature, their kind of rock that they're built on, is Healing Bruise, where when they hit a creature with a bludgeoning weapon, they can choose to make their damage non-lethal. And roll their sneak attack die. At the end of that creature's next turn, they regain hit points equal to the sneak attack die. Because it takes a little while for the bruise revitalization to kick in. It's not the fastest thing, but it'll get there eventually. Which means it's fun because you might have your rogue running around trying to punch or batter their allies on the battlefield. Figured we'd keep that fun part. There's a reason they're called a bruiser. Not everyone's necessarily happy always to be healed by this. So there's a bit of a cost. There's a bit of a cost there. Give them a 9th level feature where they can put that kind of misinterpretation of who and what they are to use by attempting to use reactions to protect their allies by intimidating the enemies into kind of pulling their punches, where you get to make contested intimidation checks to try and reduce the damage by how good you are at intimidation. So it's fun to see you stack up some intimidation and medicine on this one, which people usually would not put together. For 13th level, we've escalated that healing, made it more magical, where during a long rest, you can conduct a more long-term bruising session on someone to cast greater restoration on them without requiring any components. So someone's got madness traits or a curse or sitting there paralyzed, you can punch that paralysis away, loosen up those muscles, get the blood flowing again. Figure that comes in mighty useful. For the capstone ability, I've made something called No Pain, No Gain. Means that you do have to do a little bit of tracking with this one. Every time you deal sneak attack damage with a bludgeoning weapon, you generate 1 bruise point. At any time, you can use an action and expend all of your bruise points and roll 4 times that many d6s and deal that much magical force damage to a creature you've damaged in the last minute. Or you can choose to apply it to an ally who regains that much HP, and if that ally is dead, they're instantly resurrected. So you can build. You're messing with vital energy all over the place, so you might as well build it up and punch your friend back to life. I mean, what better dream than that is there? I then threw in a brief little encounter at the end as well.
What?
Oh my gosh!
So this was something to throw in when your party's kind of been beat down themselves. They stumble across a Koatoa with gigantic eyebrows named Purple Patch Poncho, who explains that he can use his bruising abilities to heal them, but obviously these things don't come free, and he'll only do it if they tell him a story that makes him laugh. Him and his eyebrows, he's got, I imagine, was having the most spectacular, furious face that you've ever seen. He just wears it constantly. Put in a couple things that he finds hilarious, such as his hats, sentient inanimate humor, and slapstick. He hates writer's block, as do I. And I'm sure anyone else who's ever been on the stash does. He hates comments about how huge his eyes are and questions about where he got his poncho. It's a very nice poncho. So he can obviously use his bruising abilities to try and patch people up. But if exceptionally pleased, he's happy to train others to become bruisers. So this is a way that someone can kind of opt into this style and see it in action.
Wow. Okay, so number 1, cannot believe you did both a subclass and a pretty awesome little encounter that utilizes and kind of unlocks that subclass. Like, whoa, first of all, obviously a design dash pro, as well as a subclass pro. We were talking a little bit during the design that you were known for your musical subclasses. So I'm wondering, what went through your head as we revealed this theme and its twist?
Yeah, I've gotten from those musical subclasses a bit used to trying to think about classes in different ways, and how they can kind of be twisted a bit. Instantly just started thinking, who do I want to make this with that's weird? Thought rogues are great, strength is great, rogues hit people a lot. Let's use sneak attack dice for something. Sure, we'll hit them. We'll unlock things. Bruiser. You kind of just snapped along and came in pretty quickly.
Why do you think rogue rather than some other melee classes? Like monk might have been maybe a more traditional choice for this style, this key style, although that's not unconventional, I suppose.
Yeah, monk would be more traditional. They've got healing classes, essentially. It could have fit with barbarian as well, but thought of rogue first. I like that rogues have this kind of expertise thing. They're the experts, and this is one hell of a specialty to really focus their skills into one very, very fine point. And I like that a lot, and I kind of thought that sneak attack damage dice would be a fun mechanic to mess around with and completely subvert.
Yeah, I think there are 2 ideas you've brought up in this subclass that are particularly interesting to me as someone who would potentially want to play it. One is the idea of delayed healing. That's really interesting to me because it makes them a very different type of healer, sort of anticipating what is going to happen, a little more tactical in that way versus other healers, and especially other healers who like with player knowledge might be like, well, I'm gonna save my healing spells until they've gone down and that sort of thing. It's a very different way of thinking about healing. And then the second thing that's really interesting is that capstone feature is so cool as just like imagining that happening and what that would be for storytelling. But I love the idea of having a type of point that you can rack up and gain rather than starting with a pool of points that become a resource that you expend, like sorcery points, key points, that sort of thing. So really cool new ideas that you're bringing in. Love that. Was this the same or different from how you usually design classes?
I usually just take a bit more time to bullet point them. I tend to, when I make classes, end up with more features than I need, and then I agonize about which ones to put in. So this one I kind of just went straight through, didn't bother thinking that kind of stuff through and organizing them. I didn't bother trying my best to make them really kind of interact with each other as much as I usually would.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all kind of a little bit more separate. There's just obviously plenty of tricky little bits to work out with it and fiddle around with, but yeah, for the most part, it kind of matches my usual brainstorming methods, and then I would really, really refine that a lot over time. I have a tendency to write a draft and come back like 3 weeks later and go, that's a terrible idea. Off.
The magic of editing, even just editing your own work, it's always great to go back and
Exactly.
take another look at things. Jack, did you have any questions or input for Kai? Otherwise,
No, you covered it really well. I really like how like it creates a thoughtful healer where yeah, you have to kind of anticipate like, oh, the enemies move closer to this character, but they have another turn before they get attacked. I'm gonna assume they're gonna attack this person and go ahead and sneak punch them from health.
punch them in the kidney.
Yeah, but with heals.
Yeah, but with heels. Let's talk about this rubric then, Jack. How many genetically modified good berries, 1 to 5, would you say for coolest healer? Now, Kai has the position of being the first person we're giving good berries. So note that we'll need to see how cool and unexpected, etc. the rest will be. But what do you think?
It's pretty cool. But like you said, like I don't want to just jump the gun. And...
Right? Like I don't, but like it's cool, but I don't know if it's like the fawn's cool.
I don't know if it's the fun. I'd say like 3 or 4 good berries.
Yeah, I'm gonna
cool
say, and I think it's because Kai is the first up at the judging table. I'm gonna start with 3, kind of setting the bar for how cool we'd like for all of these to be. What about unexpected?
I think it's very unexpected. I mean, you got sneak attack, but it's your ally sneaking up behind you and punching health points back in.
Yeah, I think it's pretty unexpected.
Pretty...
I would say maybe 4 genetically modified good berries. Okay, we're gonna give it 4. What about for how specific they are as a healer? The example chat gave for this was, I only heal feet. I don't know if I'd say it's specific necessarily, although there's a specific method, but
yeah,
I feel like all healers
sense
have that.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to give this a 1 genetically modified good berry.
Yeah. I still can't get over I only heal feet.
And I think we unlock that bonus category.
Class.
Wait, what was that?
The podiatrist class.
Yes. Gosh, that would be awesome. What do you say in terms of illogical healing? And you're punching.
Yeah, it's pretty illogical. It doesn't make sense that you would. I feel better now that I've been punched in the face.
Yeah, and you probably feel bad at first because you don't even get the healing right away. So you're probably the first time you're probably like, what the hell?
Why?
What the heck? What the hecky?
6 seconds later, you're like, oh, okay.
Would you say maybe 4? So we still leave room in case someone's even more bonus category illogical?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, we'll do 4. So that was Kai. Kai, thank you very much for sharing your subclass with us. Well done. I'm really excited to see Lydia's. It looks like you made a subclass as well. Tell us about your unconventional healer.
I went with the barbarian, so thank you, Kai, for doing something else. And it's just called Path of the Healer because the creative part of my brain doesn't work that fast. At 3rd level, whenever you activate your rage, you get your typical like rage damage bonus, but also at the beginning of each of your allies' turn, they are healed equal to your rage damage bonus.
Nice. Looks like it's flavored like you're inspiring your team by how angy
Or
you are.
they could also just be scared. Yeah, they could also just be scared of you and like they're not gonna disappoint you.
They're,
But either
they're
way.
scared better.
Yeah.
And then for 6th level feature, whenever you activate the 3rd level feature, allies within range also gain advantage on saving throws made to avoid being frightened because they're
Awesome.
more scared of you than they could be of anything else. 10th level did not get named. Once again, thanks to my creative brain. You get the Spare the Dying cantrip, Reincarnate, and Lesser Restoration. Spare the Dying at will, Lesser Restoration once per long rest, and then once you cast the Reincarnate spell, you roll 2d6 and can't cast it again for that many more days. And
Reigning
Strength is
in
your
that ability.
spellcasting modifier.
Ooh, strength is your spellcasting modifier. That's really nice for a barbarian healer, of course.
And then at 14th level for the capstone, whenever you activate your aura, hostile creatures who hit allies within the aura take damage equal to 1d6 plus your rage damage bonus.
Ooh, that's that
So it's got, yeah,
retaliation.
a little bit of, yeah, offensive, de-incentivize.
Absolutely. So, Lydia, so the sort of the same question I asked Kai. So why did you choose to go with the barbarian for this subclass?
Because I've already done this sort of subclass for like the fighter and the ranger and everything else, and I haven't made one for barbarian yet.
Okay, cool. Also pretty unexpected to heal from or support from an intimidation standpoint. I love that flavor. What so you mentioned that you've done these sorts of subclasses before. How was the process different or similar for Design Dash?
This is honestly pretty much how I make subclasses anyways. I don't like really making classes or subclasses, so I'll set myself like a 30-minute chunk of time, and whatever I get done during that time, then I take a break. So I usually get the bulk of the subclass fleshed out in that time. So this was just a little bit sped up.
Nice. If you had, say, that other 15 minutes or even like a full day to be able to work on your subclass, come back to it, basically, if you had more time, what do you think you would have changed or focused some more time on?
Probably rely less on the little aura that you get with that first feature and have more just unique and fun features.
Mm-hmm. Although I will say I do also like when a subclass is really identifiable by a particular feature. So it is nice that you did have some others that like call back to it, and it's really like the anchor for this barbarian. Jack, what are your thoughts on the on this barbarian path of the healer?
I like it that it kind of forces the party to stick with the barbarian, because usually, the barbarian rushes in, he's the meat shield, he's gonna take all the hits. This kind of you got to stay near him and act as a group, and the barbarian supporting everybody while doing that.
Yeah, I feel like this barbarian would work really well in a party that has a lot of frontline, like fighters or a rogue, those sorts of melee classes. Would love this type of barbarian as much as they fear it, I suppose. Goodness. So I'm trying to think if I have any other questions. Do you have questions, Jack? Great.
Yeah.
Well then, let's talk about this rubric, shall we? So how would you say this barbarian is in terms of 1 to 5 good berries, genetically modified good berries, in the category of coolest healer? Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's pretty cool. I like, a barbarian that can yell at his party members to be a better
So I want to give this.
Intimidation, inspiration through intimidation.
I want to give this a high coolest healer score, and this is why. I'm scared the barbarian will punch me if I don't.
That's true.
They seem really scary. And I want to be on their good side. So that's I personally want to give them like a 6 from 1 to 5 good genetically modified good berries. Nobody else comes close. You're definitely the coolest barbarian. Please do not punch me. That's my thought.
Sure, I agree with that.
What about as far as unexpected healers go?
Like the rogue, it's unexpected to have a barbarian that's can also heal you while, bashing faces.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you're healing while you're doing things that also help you deal damage. So that is, and maybe because you're dealing so much damage.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if there's, like, for the aura, if, like, you could heal, it's equal to your rage damage bonus. So yeah, it is because you're dealing that extra damage. That's cool. So I'm wondering if it would be, is it as unexpected as the rogue, do you think? That 4 genetically modified good berries, or does it feel a little bit different to you?
It feels a little bit different, only in the sense that the barbarian, you would expect it to heal you when it hit you. If it's a healing barbarian.
True. Okay.
So it's unexpected that it has an aura effect of healing instead of just bashing health into you.
Yeah. So how about let's also do a 4. So we'll say it's a 4 unexpected for heals to come from a barbarian, another damage dealing melee class typically. What about for specific healing? Another person who didn't go with the podiatrist subclass. Weird.
No, yeah. So it's very non-specific healing.
So yeah, I'm gonna say it's another 1 for good berries. How do you feel about this? I don't know if this unlocks the illogical subclass. Just because they're not punching their party members.
Right.
I think it's very logical for a barbarian to be so terrifying that it somehow affects their party members.
Yeah, you could think that like the damage it's dealing is kind of it's soaking that damage in and dispersing it out to its party members.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna say it doesn't unlock the bonus category that we've now revealed.
No bonus.
No bonus, Lydia. But we really enjoyed your barbarian path of the healer. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And last but certainly not least is Zeke's encounter for a little like shift in our storytelling. Zeke, I am going to highlight this and make the font bigger just so folks can read it. So do not be alarmed. But tell us about your unconventional healers.
Sure. So so my unconventional healer is Comfortable Rumble Gentle Rasp, who is a Tabaxi cleric whose methods of healing are all about gentle and comforting intimacy. He lives in a small cottage out in Neverwinter Wood, and he's well known by new adventurers and locals for being able to remove pesky curses, heal ailments of all kinds, just generally get you back on your feet if you're not feeling 100%. And I wanted to give a little bit of detail to the components of his spells, because that's sort of his whole thing. So there is this there's this idea that the purring of cats is at a frequency that promotes healing, especially like broken bones and things like that. So I thought it'd be really cool to replace verbal components with purring, meowing. Is that even how you meowing?
Oh, that's mewing. Yeah.
Meowing.
But mewing is also a thing cats do, so we wouldn't have known.
Yes. And comforting words, creating safe spaces for people, making them feel comfortable. The material components for his spells are herbal teas, incenses, warm water compresses, things that we like when we're not feeling well. And the somatic components are holding hands, cuddling, and otherwise providing safety and warmth in a way that makes everyone feel comfortable in a way that's specialized to them. And I wrote that, and then I was like, I still have time. I don't know what to do. So I came up with some adventure hooks that he might be connected to, or some encounters you could run. Mm-hmm. So Rasp can provide healing that players seek. Perhaps they've had their strength drained by a shadow, or they've been cursed by a villain, or just generally maybe they don't have a healer in the party and there's something going on, they need to be healed. So they go out to find him, but he's having some problems of his own. So I wrote 2 little possible adventure hooks. One is a more sort of traditional adventure I called Magical Mishaps. So when the characters arrive, Rasp is gone. The characters discover evidence that magic is responsible and follow the trail through an eerie swamp to the nightmarish lair of a green hag. She is transforming local folk into small animals to join her growing menagerie. Rasp has been polymorphed into a tiny kitten. Can the characters parlay with this overzealous hag? It helps that her sister and roommate is allergic to a certain newfound feline. And then the second possible encounter is a cozy to-dos for local heroes. So this could be like a posting on a job board or something like that. Rasp's stores of various resources are dwindling. He asks the party to collect a couple of things in exchange for his services. Brave the caverns of a nearby Bandersnatch to pick up rare and endemic herbs, meaning they only grow in that cavern. Get permission from the local merfolk to go fishing for his dinner, and collect the extra soft and cozy blankets he ordered from town. And then I was like, oh my God, wait, subclass. So I just wrote, Rasp is a particular subclass of cleric called feline.
This is such a sweet and gentle NPC, but also I think very relatable, because let's say, like, if a dungeon master has a cat, they're gonna have so much fun playing up that aspect of Rasp. Goodness. So, like, my personal, like, initial thoughts are that I love that for your encounter, you created an NPC and provided some little details to help role play this NPC. Because encounters don't always have to be, I find on Dash, sometimes folks create encounters that could almost really be the scope of a whole adventure, which could be biting off a lot for 15 minutes. An encounter can be just an NPC that someone interacts with socially, and you're giving all of these details, like how they do their spells, gives the dungeon master a lot to role play with, which is super fun. So you'd mentioned that you'd prepared for this by reading your dream journal, looking at creatures. Did anything from your preparations come in helpful for creating Rasp in this encounter?
Yes. So a lot of my friends recently have gotten cats, and one of my very close friends recently downloaded an app that tells her what her cat's meows and purrs mean. I don't know how, like, real it is, but she's super into it, and she's been sending me lots of screenshots, and that bled into my dreams. Recently, I've been studying, preparing for, like, basically a big upcoming exam, and I've had a dream that a cat will come, and I'm allergic to cats, and knock my exams off of the desk. It's not really you know what I mean, dreams.
Yeah.
The cats have been interfering, and so I was like, that was just something that came up. So cats are in the top of my brain, and I guess I just scooped that right off.
Oh my goodness. Well, awesome inspiration. How does this process, how did it feel compared to how you usually design? What is your brainstorming process like?
Oh my gosh, this is so different. It was so fast. I typically like to come up with a little outline, like with headings. Like, I typically come up with the headings for whatever I'm doing first, and then I'll go in and I'll carefully add detail for everything. And I've never written a subclass. I didn't even know the levels people get stuff. I've played like 2 characters in my entire career, so like I was like, that's not happening. We're just gonna... So it was very scattershot, and I was shocked when Lydia said that she takes 30 minutes to make like the rough draft of a subclass, because I was like, I set aside like huge blocks of time just to like brainstorm and stuff. I need structure.
I'm the same. I do the headers first, and I feel like I need to get those perfect, because it's the outline basically, and then you go back and you fill in sections. So I relate to that. If you had more time to set aside and brainstorm, we'll say this encounter for RASP, where do you think you would have spent? What do you think you would have added? What do you think you would have developed more?
So there's something that Wizards does in a lot of their adventures where they give ideals, bonds, and flaws for NPCs. And I recently started doing that in some of my adventures in the last year, and I found it is so helpful for role-playing NPC. It gives you little snippets you can just drop into conversation if you're having a hard time improvising. It gives you so much context for them in such little text. So I would want to add something like that, and maybe come up with like a specific couple of special spells that RASP can cast or something like that. Maybe give him a nice little extra, little just a touch of a common magic item for his teas or something like that. Those are little areas I would love to flesh out.
Oh, I'd love that. Jack, did you have any thoughts?
No, it was very charming and
really different from terrifying barbarian and rogue who punches
like,
you.
Sweet, gentle cat healing.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, unexpected in terms of just this progression of presentations that we've had. So let's jump into the rubric then. So first up, on a scale of 1 to 5 genetically modified good berries, we have coolest healer. I think Rasp is pretty cool. Yeah. But not as cool as the barbarian, don't punch me.
One less than the barbarian.
Yeah, I would say like 4 or 5 genetically modified good berries for Rasp, a sweetie. What about as an unexpected healer?
I mean, it is a cleric.
True.
You expect a cleric to be a healer.
True. I mean, I definitely think they're unconventional, but I don't know if I would say they're unexpected because they are a cleric and because they are of a very gentle nature. That is what you would normally associate with a healer or a support class. So I think I would maybe give this 2 genetically modified good berries because they are, I don't know, a cat. And what about specific healer, though?
I mean, I think it even says, like, heal ailments of all kinds.
True. But let me propose this to you, Jack. There are very specific components that were listed.
That's what I was thinking,
which makes them different from other healers, which I thought was a really cool detail. Yeah, they've got their specific cat magic.
Cat magic.
Yeah. So I'm going to say there definitely are most specific in terms of like the components of their spells and what they use. I feel like I would give them a 4 for a specific healer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree. I get down with that.
All right. Do you think that they unlock the illogical category?
I don't know that it's illogical.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
That a cat is healing, because, I mean, cats in real life are pretty,
true.
Can make you feel better.
Yeah, I think this is a very good fit, if a little unconventional, in terms of what sorts of spells and components that they use.
Yeah, I think the unconventionalness comes from like the purring and the meowing as a verbal component. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. So I think we have our rubric all set for Zeke. I'm going to mark a little did not unlock the illogical category. But Zeke, thank you so much for sharing RASP with us. So folks, we have graded all of our lovely designs on their rubrics, and as we do outros, we will reward some superlatives to folks for their encounters and subclasses. But your role in Design Dash continues on. Right after this show, I'm going to hop over to @DMs_guild on Twitter and put a poll where you can vote for Kai, Lydia, or Zeke's designs, and one of them will return next month to enter the arena again, or you can punish someone by making them return. Depends on how you're thinking about it. But for now, let's do some outros. Let folks know where they can find you. Again, if there's anything you want to plug from your creations, please feel free. We're going to go in backwards order. So starting with Zeke, who has the most specific healer of today's designs. Zeke, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Zeke Gonzalez. You can find me on Twitter at Fantasy Ecology, where I try to fuse science and often horror, not this time, but often horror, into my adventures and D&D content. So that's where you can find me.
Thanks for being here, Zeke. Lydia, you are our coolest healer. Definitely the coolest. No one even came close. Coolest healer in all the land.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Lydia Van Hoy 1. Also, I have a website now at motherofgoblins.gay. That is a real website address that I bought.
That's amazing.
And yeah, go check out Lovers in Arms, the sequel for the Domestic Handbook with 38 new NPCs.
Adding new NPCs, just dropping them in to your adventures and campaigns is awesome. So, Lydia, thank you again for being here. And Kai, you are the winner of the secret category badge of most illogical healer. Yay!
Yes! It's all I ever wanted. Yeah, I am Kai Linder. You can find me on Twitter at Paradolak. I believe it's right there. I'll be releasing my final musical subclass in a couple weeks, so be sure to check that out. Hope you enjoyed my work, and hope you enjoyed watching all three of us dash.
Yes, Kai, thank you for returning to the arena. Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack. You can follow me at Jack's Not Funny on Twitter. You should also check out the Storytelling Collective. We actually have a free talk that's somebody from the community is going to give about taxes, because freelancers always have questions about taxes. So you can go to storytellingcollective.com, and it's a completely free thing, and you can sign up, and you don't have to be there when it's live either. We'll send out the video afterwards for it, so that'll be really cool. Thanks to, I can't remember their name, for reaching out to us and offering that. And keep creating more stuff for me to read on DM's Guild.
The titles have been so amazing. Mm-hmm. Newsletter is getting more and more difficult to make, because it's what titles am I even supposed to spotlight?
Right.
All of them. The newsletter is going to become when you have that scroll and you open it and just rolls across the room. It's so long. Anyway, I'm Lysa Penrose. I am the brand manager for Dungeon Masters Guild. You can follow me personally over at Lysa Penrose pretty much everywhere. You can follow Dungeon Masters Guild on Twitter or the Instagram that Jack manages and showcases lots of really cool covers. That's at DMS_guild, at DMs_guild. And go to DungeonMastersGuild.com if you enjoyed these unconventional healers, because we do have a healers kit bundle happening right now. Which has all sorts of subclasses like monks and fighters and different potions and ointments, and then rules for making your own. A bunch of good stuff in there, and you can save, I think it's 54%, over 50% on those titles if you get them in the bundle right now. So go check that out. Thank you everyone in chat for helping us put together this rubric and for cheering Kai, Lydia, and Zeke on. You all are amazing for joining us live. And goodness gracious, I never know what to say to end these things. Dash away. Bye, everybody.
Bye.